Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is Twiz Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. We are coming to you live here from Gen Con 2019, bringing you all the board game coverage all week long. And as usual, I'm your host, Matt, and right now I am joined with Rob from White Wizard Games.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, Rob?
Good. It's been a good show. Kind of crazy busy as Gen
That's,
Con usually is.
that's Gen Con for you.
But yeah, managed to fight my way through the throngs of people in the hallways to come to show you some new stuff. So we had a big release earlier this summer of the Sorcerer game. It's a dark fantasy game set in Victorian London where players play evil sorcerers battling for control of the city.
And so some of our viewers might remember that actually we did an extended demo of that at Gamma, I believe, this year with you guys.
Yeah, and so yeah, I believe you have that on your archives, and we have on the White Wizard Games page. We also have some playthrough videos and such. So if you're not familiar with Sorcerer, awesome game, beautiful artwork, really fun play. Combines TCG style card play with tabletop war game style dice rolling and such. Really fun game, and creating a character at the beginning of the game, creating your deck, is super simple. You just choose one character deck, one lineage deck, one domain deck, shuffle those together, and you have your sorcerer for the game. Out of the base set, there's 64 possible combinations of sorcerers, and we have some expansions here, some new cards, which give you a new character, a new lineage, and a new domain that available for Sorcerer, and this vastly increases the number of combinations of sorcerers available in the game. So we have Virgilu, who has fire powers, and he has some sorcery cards that deal damage to his opponent. So he's got a one-cost sorcery that deals one damage to an opponent, and if the minion that he's blasting dies, he is able to search up. So with this one, does a point of damage. If it kills a minion, then you get to search up from your deck one of these sorceries that does 2 points of damage. And if you play that and kill a minion, you get to search your deck for one of these Phoenix cards. And the Phoenixes are really neat in that when they die, they get to come at end of turn. You get to put them right back onto the battlefield. So they come back into play again and again.
So is there a way to get rid of them for good?
They will just keep coming back unless, if you were playing the Animist, you might be able to take one of them out of the discard pile and trap them under one of your cards. They're small. They're only one attack and one essence.
But they're pesky.
But they're pesky, and they keep returning to the battle. So by the end of the game, when you're down to one battlefield, they might not be particularly useful. But in that early and mid game, when there's a lot more space on the battlefield than you can deal with, having those Phoenixes, which come back again and again, can be really cool. We also have the Druid lineage. These guys have really cool plant powers. So when you use your lineage ability, you get to put these little root counters on your guys, and they give +1 essence to the minion. Basically, they eliminate a point of damage. You put them on as sort of defensive armor on your guys,
Gotcha.
and at the end of the round, if you want to, you can remove 3 root counters from one of your minions to put one of these little Treekin tokens into play. It's a little 1/2 minion, if that thing lives for a round, at the end of the round, it'll flip over and turn into a Deep Root Guardian. And in turn, Deep Root Guardians on future turns will be able to put root tokens onto your guys. So they have this little circle of life thing going on where they get roots. They get the root tokens that defend your guys. You can turn the root tokens into the Treekins, and the Treekins turn into the Deep Root Guardians. And of course, there's cards that play with those mechanics in the lineage deck. So that is the Druid lineage. And then finally, we have the Blood-Soaked Fjord domain. This domain is filled with big, nasty trolls. Every minion in in this domain pack is a troll, and a lot of the trolls like to be injured. When they get injured, they'll gain additional attack dice, or some of them can regenerate damage over
So
the
kind
course
of
of the
like
turn.
your RPG style barbarians, where they're trying to get some damage to rage up, and then
Exactly,
Gotcha.
and they're very hard hitting. Now that particular domain is not good at omens, so they don't get many omens through the course of the game. But boy, do they roll a lot of combat dice.
Yeah.
So they're a big hard hitting domain, really fun, and the fjord itself can give bonus attack dice to your guys. So those are available to as expansion packs. They come out mid-August in stores, so look for them this month at your local game store. And we also have a new set of battlefields. So we have in the base game, you have the London battlefields. This additional set of battlefields is Cairo. So you can battle in a different city, and these locations have special abilities on them. So there's different mechanics on the different locations. For example, Luxor. Whenever you play a minion there, you weaken it. So basically, it'll get a point of damage, unless that point of damage would kill it. So it makes that particular location really good a good place to put really small minions that only start with one essence, because the weakening won't kill anything, so they'd be immune to it. But your bigger things, when they come in, they're going to take a point of damage. Now you still might want to play your big guys there for various reasons during the course of the game, but the different locations have different effects that will affect your gameplay. That's a really neat way you can spice up the game, and it also is a way to get additional battlefields in the game. So the base game comes with 4 battlefields, which is enough to support 4 players. And if you want to go to a 5th player for Battle Royale, you could want to use one of these additional battlefields in the mix.
So where are these battlefields available at?
So these again will be coming out at your local game store in August, and of course we'll have them on the White Wizard Game Store online. So you'll be able to order them online or pick them up at your local game store. And we also have some extra large dice, some big fat 20 millimeter battle dice. So those are a really neat extra. And all these things can fit into into the original box for Sorcerers. There's plenty of room for the extra cards in the card row. These can stack on top of the existing battlefields, and one of the extra wells in the tray is big enough to hold the extra set of dice, so you can have the extra dice as well. So lots of cool new stuff coming out for Sorcerer. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is we have a Kickstarter coming up with new sets for Epic card game and for Star Realms. So we've got a Kickstarter coming in August called Epic Jungle. It's going to have 3 new sets for Epic. We've got Epic Duels, which is a really easy to play 2-player set for Epic. So basically it only uses 4 of the keyword mechanics on the champions in the game. So it's a nice easy set to teach new players the game. And also we'll have a rule book which will walk players through their first game. The cards will come in a specific order, and the first time they play, it'll give them instructions on what they're drawing, what they're playing, and sort of walk them through the game. So it's a really great way to learn the game. But the cards that are in it are really fun and powerful cards for advanced Epic players. So if you're a veteran of the game, these are really cool cards that you can add to your collection. But it's also a really great place for new players to start. We also have set called Epic Jungle, which Kickstarter is obviously named after, which is a 2-player box set for Epic, which can be combined with any of your additional existing Epic sets. And this features some new mechanics. We'll have some cards here from that set, and as you can see, it's got, as with all Epic stuff, it's got really gorgeous art. We've got some new mechanics. We've got the Frenzy mechanic, and Frenzy gives you a bonus if your opponent has more cards in their hand than you do. While your opponent has more cards, your champions and your events with frenzy are going to be doing extra powerful things. So here we have the Direwolf, which gets +6 attack and +6 defense, and can't take damage while your opponent has more cards in hand than you. So that can be a really really nasty surprise for your opponent. We also have a new mechanic called Grudge. The Grudge mechanic does something when the minion leaves play, when the champion leaves play. So if it's when it leaves the table, it has a leaving play effect. So if it dies or is returned to your hand, you can do some extra nasty things. And just got some really beautiful.
Oh, that's really pretty artwork on there.
Just got beautiful artwork, and like with all Epic sets, every single card has unique art, unique game mechanics. You can play sealed, constructed, or draft. Basically, any format you can play in a trading card game, you can play in Epic, and you can just play with that same set again and again and again, and all your friends can play off of your collection. So it basically takes the trading card game experience and puts it into a board game style price point, and but keeps all the beautiful art and all the cool game mechanics.
Awesome.
And we also, in this Kickstarter, we've got some new stuff for Star Realms. We've got a Star Realms set called High Alert. We're going to have 4 new packs for that. They're going to be available for the first time in this Kickstarter as an add-on. Now, you can... if you want, you can just get the add-ons. You could just get the Star Realms stuff if you wanted to, or if you get the Epic stuff and the Star Realms stuff together. Of course, that'll save you a little bit of money on the shipping end. And there's some really cool new sets for Star Realms. We've got cards with the double ally ability that was introduced in Star Realms Frontiers. We've got cards with an acquisition mechanic where basically they are less expensive if you have played cards of their faction that turn. So they'll make it easier to acquire them if you're already invested in that faction. And we also have some new card types that will be available in this. We'll have some heroes with more than one faction, and we also have a brand new card type that we're going to be, which we'll be revealing for the Kickstarter, which will be available in that set. And we'll have a 5th pack, which will be Kickstarter exclusive. So we'll have more cards from this for Star Realms for the High Alert. That'll be Kickstarter exclusive with us. So you can, if you get the High Alert through the Kickstarter, you'll be able to get some extra exclusive cards.
Very cool.
And as always, really beautiful art with the Star Realms, and some really cool mechanics on these new cards.
It's always got a great aesthetic to it.
Yep. And you gotta love the blob stuff. The big
the space shark.
The big space monsters.
Yeah.
So that's the new stuff we got coming out.
Very cool. So I wanted to jump back to the Sorcerer stuff for a second. So these are individual packs that you're releasing. It's not just one big expansion pack where you get all this stuff. You could actually pick and choose what you want to add to your game.
Yeah, so basically, they come in packs. The character packs are $6. The domain packs are $5, and the lineage packs are $10. They come with you get an avatar standee that comes with your character pack. You get the punch board with the extra tokens in the lineage pack, and of course the 20-card deck there. Plus, this comes with tokens and the double-sided 5 of the double-sided tokens plus a rules card, and then of course the domain has the 10-card trio deck and the domain skill card. So yeah, you can add all of these to your collection. You could add just one. Anything you want you can do and basically customize your own set. And when you're creating your sorcerer at the beginning of the game, you get to pick you'll be adding additional choices, so it'll increase your variety for that drafting portion in the beginning of the game. And of course, one of the really cool things about adding cards to Sorcerer is not only are you adding cards to your deck, but you're also adding the skill card that's going to stay in play all game, so you'll always see the new stuff that you're playing with. It'll have an impact throughout the entire game, whether you happen to draw the new cards in your opening hand or not.
Gotcha. Very cool. So what else is going on with White Wizard Games?
So we have for Hero Realms, we had a Kickstarter last year that was for the Ancestry Pack, which allowed you to play as a elf, a dwarf, a orc, an ogre, or a small folk. We have, and that's in addition to characters. So you could play as a orc fighter or an orc wizard. You can combine the character pack with the lineage pack to create class race combos. And you can use that PvP, or you can also use that in the cooperative play in the campaign. We also have the Journeys pack, which has got new champions and new action cards for your market deck. And we have the new card types, the quests and the artifacts that are in that. And then we also had in that Kickstarter the Lost Village, which is a continuation of the Ruin of Thandar campaign. So with the Ruin of Thandar campaign, it transforms Hero Realms into a cooperative game where you're working together with your friends, fighting the bad guys, gaining experience, finding treasure, and permanently changing your character over time. It basically mashes up a role-playing game and a deck-building game. So you have
really cool.
the continuing adventures. You get together with your friends, form the party, go on missions.
It's not just your one shot.
It's not your one shot. Yeah, you have, and so so if you played through the Ruin of Thandar, you have your character with your experience that you spent and the magic items you found. You will be able to take that character and continue the story. So the Lost Village picks up exactly where Ruin of Thandar left off, and you'll continue the adventure. And it's got 3 new encounters that you'll play through. You'll continue to gain experience for your character and move along the storyline. And we've got all that stuff has for the Kickstarter that we're looking to get to backers in December of this year, and then have it available in retail stores in early in 2020, so early next year. And all those files we've been submitting to the printer. So basically, that stuff is the printing process is underway for all those things. So we're nicely on track to get the backers their cool new toys. So we got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline for Hero Realms, and then of course we've got various cool new projects we're working on the side. So we've got new games coming out. We got some really cool new stuff coming down the pipe for Star Realms. So yeah, we continue to support our existing games, and we've got some really cool new stuff that we're bringing out. So so next year you'll see some announcements about some cool new games that you'll be able to get. And with all the stuff we do, we spend a lot of time on the design and development of the gameplay, but also we spend a lot of time and detail on the art and the visuals in the game. So the gameplay is super fun, but they're also
very pretty on the table.
Very pretty on the table, and it really just adds to the play flavor.
Oh, absolutely! It really just cranks it up to 11. It makes the experience just much more pleasurable all around. Yeah. But very cool. Rob, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate it. And we're looking forward to see all the cool stuff coming up from White Wizard Games.
And check out the Kickstarter coming up this month. We'll have new stuff for Epic, new stuff for Star Realms. And, of course, if you missed any of Kickstarter exclusive from our past Kickstarters for Hero Realms or for any of the other games, you can always pick those up when you back any White Wizard Game Kickstarter.
Very good. And where can our viewers go to find out more information about all the goings-on with White Wizard Games?
WhiteWizardGames.com.
Perfect. Making it easy.
Indeed.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
We
you.
really do appreciate it. We're going to be coming back to you with more coverage throughout the day here at Gen Con 2019. But signing off for now, I'm Matt. Have a good one, everyone.